It is I, Donald Reagan, the uncommon voice for the common man, coming to you today live from Shadyside, Ohio, where this emergency tirade is directed right at the Commander-in-Chief of the military of this great nation, Barack Obama, our worthless president. You, sir, are an embarrassment to the office that you hold as Commander-in-Chief of the brave men and women who serve in the military. Your comments yesterday at Fort Drum go over and beyond any of the stupid things that you have done to our military and the things that your political party has done to the military up to this point. How in God's name do you possibly make a little slip up on who you actually awarded the Medal of Honor to? You actually had this to say when you were at Fort Drum yesterday. Quote, "The first time I saw the 10th Mountain Division, you guys were in southern Iraq. When I went back to visit Afghanistan, you guys were the first ones there. I had the great honor of seeing some of you because a comrade of yours, Jared Monty, and I am sorry if I mispronounce his name, was the first person who I was able to award the Medal of Honor to, who actually came back and wasn't receiving it posthumously. So in other words, you slipped up. The poor truth of the matter is that poor guy was killed in Afghanistan on June 21st, 2006, and was awarded the Medal of Honor by you on September 17th, 2009. But you had to give the medal to his family because he was killed in action in Afghanistan. That is beyond reprehensible that you would make a little mistake like that. Well, when you were asked about it, your spokesman said, quote, "At Fort Drum, the president misspoke when discussing the first Medal of Honor that he presented posthumously to Jared Monty, who was a member of the 10th Mountain Division. The president paid tribute to Monty in his remarks to the troops in Afghanistan in March 2010. Last year, the president presented the Medal of Honor to Salvatore Giunta, and I'm sorry if I mispronounce his name too, who was the first living recipient of the Medal of Honor who actually did serve in Afghanistan." So in other words, this poor Monty's family has been told by you or told by the soldiers of the 10th Mountain Division that he was alive when he received his medal. I'm sure that's comforting news to his family and probably shocking news to the family of Salvatore Giunta, who may very well, in your estimation, have been killed in service in Afghanistan. A little slip up like that goes beyond anything I have ever heard. And you are a damn disgrace to the office that you hold for saying it. But it's not the first time that you have shown your disdain or any sort of good feelings about the men and women that serve in our military ever. This is what you did before. I remember not last Memorial Day, the one that just came a couple weeks ago, but the one before that. The very first Memorial Day that you were the Commander-in-Chief of the United States, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, and Coast Guard. You couldn't even make it to Arlington National Cemetery to lay the wreath at the Tomb of the Unknown because you were on vacation. You flew off to Chicago when the damn Vice President had to put the wreath on the Tomb of the Unknown because you had to fly off to Chicago to rest up. Well, you rested up all right, enough to get back in Air Force One on Monday afternoon of Memorial Day and fly back to D.C. to catch the Paul McCartney concert. You think we've forgotten about that, have you? Well, by God, I never will, and that's the damn truth. But that isn't the only thing that you have done. That's right. And other things that you have done, let's just see when you were candidate Obama. When you were candidate Obama, you were on your big European victory tour even before you were elected. And you were over there and you asked to see some of our injured soldiers at an Air Force base in Germany. Then you did. You asked to see them in the military, knowing that you are or were a United States Senator, granted you permission to see him. But when you were told by the military that you couldn't bring your fawning, love-struck press corps and the damn cameras and try and take a visit to the troops and turn it into a damn political publicity stunt, you did not go. You shot basketball in a gym in Paris, France instead, and to hell with the damn injured troops in Germany. And that was the first tip-off that we had about how you felt about the brave men and women that served this country. But that's not the only thing you did. You have done other things. Remember, your Secretary of Homeland Security, Janet Napolitano Ice Cream, as soon as you took office, were worried about right-wing anti-government extremists. And at the top of the list was, guess what? Veterans coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan who you thought might be anti-government right-wing wackos, and that law enforcement agencies all over the country had to keep an eye on veterans coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan. And you think I'm going to forget that shit after what you did to this guy yesterday? You're smoking crack. You are a damn embarrassment as Commander-in-Chief of the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard. And as far as I'm concerned, the Republicans ought to use this as a political weapon, because any man that is a Commander-in-Chief and would do something as heinous and mushroom-headed like this gets every damn thing he deserves. And there shouldn't be one member of the military that votes for you. But you probably know that, don't you? And in fact, the members of your party know it. Remember Al Franken trying to get the military ballots thrown out in his hotly contested race in Minnesota? And that thing was a damn fraud too. And I'm sure the military ballot somehow got lost in the shuffle there. The same way that Al Gore tried to get the military ballots discounted in the 2000 election with George W. Bush in Florida. You and your left-wing Marxist, communist, bastard Democrats aren't going to get away with it this time, because we're on to you. And we are going to hound you, and we are never going to forget this outrage that you have perpetrated on the brave men and women who serve this country. You, sir, are a damn crackhead. Until next time, this is Ronald Reagan, a man who proudly loves and will always stand tall for the men and women who serve in the military of this great nation, even though their commander-in-chief is a damn crackhead and won't do it. I say this now. When tirades like this break in, my tirades break in. Or should I say, when news like this breaks out, disgusting news that it is, my tirades break in. Until next time, I say, God bless the men and women of the military. God bless America, and over